yourself apart in a whatever world.
From texting a thank you note to wearing gym clothes outside the gym, nowadays casual is often considered the norm, and it's easy for manners to really fall to the wayside.
In her book, The Essentials of Fabulous, because whatever doesn't work here anymore, author Lubin Sherman shares tips on igniting your dreams with swagger and flair to boot. Welcome to the show. It's great to have you here.
Thanks so much.
What an interesting topic. I think right off the bat, what are some of the essentials of being fabulous?
Well, the reason I wrote the book is because being okay is not good enough anymore. Everybody has to be really on their game. So I decided to label it as fabulous because it matters. I mean, the little things chalk up, and then you start to see that someone is really on your radar screen. And passion is, to me, the most important quality of being fabulous.
And you think that that's probably one of the most basic, essential things you need in life to be successful?
There's no question. You go in and talk to somebody and you're just brimming with energy and excitement. It's contagious. They're going to pick up that kind of vibe from you.
So what do you need to do to become fabulous? I know that in your book you mentioned a wardrobe might even help. A certain type of wardrobe.
You should always dress for the way you want to express yourself. I'm not really a fashion person. I'm more a style person. And I'm always trying to connect with people on a different level, kind of on a meta level. When you see me dressed, you're going to get a feeling that I'm a little bit kooky, but I'm having fun, and that I might be interesting, and I'm always accessible. There's just something about the way I present that makes you feel like you can talk to me. And I think that people don't give enough care or thought to the way they present themselves, and it takes them right from in the track of fabulous to sidelines.
Throws you off track. And you mentioned accessories are crucial, but sometimes you shouldn't go overboard, and you said something about sticking with odd numbers.
Yeah, I don't like 4 bracelets, I like 5. Okay.
I like 3 always, and necklaces, 3, everything has to be odd.
Yeah, well, I'm
1,
wearing
3,
2
or
today.
5.
I'm wearing 2 today, but generally I like things that are a little off, that are not so, prissy and prim, but more like, adventurous. And as you get older, you should get crazier. As you get older, you should really push the button on quirky and batty and crazy, and then people are going to say, who is that person? Instead of labeling them as, oh, she's old, she's in her 50s.
They probably want to know more about you then.
I'm sorry?
They would want to know more about you then.
Absolutely. You're always trying to intrigue people. You're always trying to magnetize them to get into your vortex so that you can start to build a kind of very full life. You don't want to push people away. You want people to come in and form your big network.
One of the things I always talk about is mediocrity. It's not something that we need. More and more people to step up to a higher level than staying at a certain level.
Well, I totally agree with you, and I think the mediocrity comes from the whatever. It's not putting the emphasis on where it should be put, and just taking the path of least resistance. To be fabulous, you take the path of most resistance. You get up at 3:15 in the morning to get to a TV show. You send a thank you note, even if somebody just sent you a small little trinket. You send a thank you note, you perfect stamp, and you handwrite it. Those are the little things that people go, wow. Creating that personal wow. Not a brand marketing wow, but a personal wow is how you get in front of the right people and how you create a great reputation.
You can't send an email thank you note?
You can, but it should be followed up with a personal note.
Okay.
You can
do
like an
leaves a lasting
note.
impression, though, when you get something in the mail, other than a bill, taking the time to thank
none of us get real mail anymore. So when the mail, you go to your office and you find, or you go home and you find this real letter with a handwritten note, it's like, it's like a gift.
You're right.
It's like a gift. What is this? You open it up and it's a personal handwritten note.
I get very little mail these days.
It's true.
Only bills.
That's right. Now, who do you admire for their fabulousness?
Well, I had the great pleasure of once sitting next to Meryl Streep at a student production at Northwestern. And her daughter was performing in a show. And she came out and she said, Mommy, I want you to meet everybody in the show. And Meryl Streep stood there and spoke to every single student and had something specific to say to each one of them. She didn't look at her watch and say, listen, we have to catch the limo. She just stood there for as long as it took to say something to each one of them that gave them a little boost. And I looked at her and she was dressed very, very plainly and simply, but the whole effect was so strong, and her warmth was so palpable that you just knew that she was, you know, rocking it. She was just extraordinary.
Now, what if you're not a Meryl Streep? How do you get to that point?
Follow the path. Be passionate. Have a great attitude. Watch your manners. Dress beautifully. Take time with your appearance. Increase your bandwidth. Don't only talk to people that are in your posse. Talk to people out of your posse so that you get to know more people. And also be always on it. Know things. Read Politico, Huffington Post, the New York Times, the New Yorker. Whatever you read, just make sure that you're creating such interesting material so that when people sit and talk with you, you have something to say and that you know what's going on in the world.
You're somebody of substance and you're relevant.
And that you're relevant and you're with it and you're cool and you know what's going on. And then the age and the wrinkles become very irrelevant.
Well, that's terrible. We're just about out of time. Thank you so much for the tips. It was really an interesting book to look over.
I appreciate your time.
Sure.
It's great to have you with us.
Thank you.
Now, the name of the book is The Essentials of Fabulous. And where can we find it? Pretty much everywhere?
Amazon.com and in beautiful lifestyle stores across the country. You can go to my website and find out where it's available all over the country. But mostly Amazon.com.
All right, now we're feeling fabulous because you were here with us.
I hope I gave you that air.
Oh, you did.
You did. You inspired us. I really
Exactly.
think so. All right.